Chiefs win again, 27-19. So much was made about Mahomes and his ankle. How would he hold up? How would he look? Well, he looked pretty dang good, if you ask me. Mahomes, 28 of 41 through the air, 260 yards passing, a passing touchdown. He also rushed the ball. He tested that ankle pretty early as he had a rushing touchdown, 5 carries, 33 yards on the ground for Patrick Mahomes. He was on it today. A very good game for Patrick Mahomes, helping secure the Chiefs' W. And the offense, I got to tell you, I really liked what I saw from this team, collectively speaking. You look at the rushing attack. Kareem Hunt leads this team in rushing today, 11 carries, 55 yards. One of the things that we talked about with this Chiefs team going into today was how much the Texans' run defense had struggled throughout this season. They were considered one of the worst run defense units in the league. And yet, here we are. We're talking about the Chiefs, collectively speaking, getting the job done in the run game with 124 total yards, 55 from Hunt, 33 from Mahomes, 26 from Pacheco, 10 from Xavier Worthy. I think what we've seen in the last few weeks since Pacheco's come back, it's been a nice collective effort where you're getting multiple guys involved in the run game, whether it's Hunt one day, Pacheco another, Mahomes getting his, even Xavier Worthy. And I mentioned this earlier. I'll say it again when it comes to Xavier Worthy. They have now carved out a nice Deebo Samuel role for him. Getting him involved in the run game now, it seems about every week. Leads this team in receiving again, 7 catches, 65 yards, and a touchdown score. Xavier Worthy's doing it all. The offense was on it today. 375 total yards as a team today, 25 first downs. They converted on their third down opportunity, 7 of 13. Did a really good job of limiting mistakes as a team. 2 penalties, 20 yards. I thought they looked very good on that front, controlled the time of possession, and they could have won by more. But they decided to run the clock out at the end of the game to put this game on ice and get this job done. And as I was watching this game, even when the Chiefs fell behind slightly, it was never in doubt. This is a game it felt like they controlled for almost the entirety here, that they did a really good job, just a complete total win. And the Texans, one of the better teams in the AFC, for them to control the way that they did here, I think this sent a statement to the rest of the NFL. Remember, the Chiefs, with the Mahomes injury a few days ago, they were underdogs in this game. Now, the line obviously shifted when we found out the Mahomes injury news that he was okay. But for them to come in, when people were doubting this Chiefs team, when they said, hey, they're fraudulent, they're not worthy of being 13-1, they're not even going to beat the Texans this week. Short week, this team buckled together. They got the job done. The defense was fantastic again today. 2 total sacks. Also had 9 tackles for loss, 2 turnovers. Jaden Hicks with an interception. Trent McDuffie also had an interception. How about Trent McDuffie, too? Goes from 3 years of never having an interception to 2 picks in back-to-back weeks. We see you, Trent McDuffie. He was already very good. And the fact that he didn't have an interception before was kind of a sign of how hard it was to throw his direction. That opposing teams were avoiding putting the ball that direction. And now that they actually are taking chances on it, McDuffie is capitalizing. 2 straight picks the last 2 weeks. He's been great. What's your one-word reaction to the Chiefs' performance against the Houston Texans? Weigh in the chat. Let us know what your one-word reaction is. Weigh in. My one word is pleased. I'm very pleased with what we saw in all 3 facets today. Harrison Butker, good to see him back on kickoff coverage, in addition to making his field goals and his extra points and all that. I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased with what we saw today. Give me your one-word reaction. Let us know. We had a great time at our watch party on Saturday. Tex and I typically don't work on Saturdays, but the Chiefs, they said, hey, we're going to play a game on a Saturday, and so we show up to work. And I got to tell you, we had a great time. We reached 64,000 subscribers on the channel. We're going to cover the run of the playoffs like no one else will with our daily news and rumors, our live shows, our watch parties on game days, all of that right here on the Chiefs Report. Subscribe now, youtube.com/ChiefsTV. You'll be glad you did. Let's talk Patrick Mahomes now. Mahomes, 28 of 41, 260 yards and a touchdown. And one of the things that I said about Patrick Mahomes that was of note when you looked at history, and what's the old adage? If we don't learn our history, we repeat it. And in Mahomes' case, repeating it actually might work out and be a good thing, because this is a guy that's had 2 prior ankle injuries. In each of those ankle injuries, he recovered from them, he played through them, and the Chiefs won Super Bowls. And then we get to Anklegate Part 3 this year. And it was a scary situation because we've seen this before. Is it going to be worse this time? And if you had not told me that Patrick Mahomes had this ankle injury prior to today, you would not even known that he had that based on the way he played, the way he moved around the pocket, the way that he rushed throughout the afternoon. That was something that your confidence level, all right, Mahomes is going to be fine. Everything is A-okay here, that he's got this figured out. To me, that this was, if I had one major takeaway from the entire day, it was the Chiefs got great news that Mahomes is just fine and that he's a warrior. I mean, you think about the great gladiators in history, from, Zeus to Thanos. He's right up there with them. You can't talk about modern-day warriors, modern-day gladiators without mentioning Patrick Mahomes. He belongs in that discussion. When we study Greek mythology, we might as well just include Patrick Mahomes because he's just up in a whole nother conversation there. The run game today, I think there was a thought that when Pacheco came back that he was just going to take over, that the roles of everybody else were going to be reduced. And I'll say this, to Andy's credit, he's finding a good way to really just balance things. If Hunt's got the hot hand, he's giving more carries to Hunt. If they're effective with running Mahomes or using Xavier Worthy, they're doing that. If it's Pacheco's day, they'll go to Pacheco. I don't care who rushes the football as long as the Chiefs find the right balance of who could be effective. And I know that it's going to be hit or miss with this offensive line. You just really don't know how it's going to work out. But I think the Chiefs have found something that they can work with, this by-committee aspect. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think they got a good thing going here. Let's talk about the receiving game real quick. Xavier Worthy, 7 catches, 65 yards, 1 touchdown. I tweeted this out during the game. I'll say it again. Stop calling this man a gadget player. Get it out of your vocabulary. Get it out of your vernacular. Just stop saying that. It is disrespectful to Xavier Worthy. It is disrespectful to Andy Reid. It is disrespectful to Matt Nagy. It is disrespectful to Patrick Mahomes to call this man a gadget player. You do not spend a first-round pick that you traded up for a gadget player. Xavier Worthy is a key piece to this offense in a multitude of ways. The receiving game, the rushing game, the speed that he brings to the table. And the role that they've carved out for him, it's all about just getting him in space. Whether it's through the air or through the ground attack, he's got a speed advantage on every single player in the National Football League. And however you can get him out in space, let him work, do his thing. I'm tired of all this blasphemy about Xavier Worthy. He is a very good football player. He is a weapon on this offense, and it showed again today. How about Hollywood Brown? We had so much to talk about. I can't believe it's taking us this long to actually talk about Hollywood. We got to praise Hollywood for a moment here. First game with the Chiefs. First game back from injury. I'll be honest. I didn't know how much he was going to be limited today. Just, how much it was going to take him to catch up to speed and all. But, man, I found myself sounding like Gus Johnson saying, Hollywood, with some of the stuff he was doing today. 5 catches, 45 yards, 20-yard long. And it goes back to something else I've said, too. That I've been of the belief that this Chiefs team, their best football has been in front of them at the end of the season, with getting guys like Hollywood back, Pacheco healthy, Amenahu, among others here. And the addition of Hollywood, with still having D-Hop and Worthy and Kelce and others, just only adds to it. Strength in numbers. And Hollywood, he's going to have some days here pretty soon. He'll have some 100-yard receiving games. He'll get some big bomb touchdowns, 50-plus yards. But you'll take the days, too, where he just gets 5 catches for 45 yards. That'll work. That'll write that check in cash. I mean, that's going to do wonders for you. You can live with that from Hollywood Brown. I'm very satisfied with what he did. Who was the Chiefs MVP today against the Texans? A lot of different choices to choose from. Weigh in, let us know who that choice is for you, who you believe the MVP was for the Kansas City Chiefs. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time. Game Time is the place to go for the best seats, the lowest prices guaranteed. Whether you're looking for tickets to sport events, concerts, theater productions, comedy shows, and more, Game Time's got you covered. Game Time is focused on togetherness this holiday season. That means when you bring people together at live events, the experience is that much better and the perfect gift. Game Time is a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals and great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. They have their super deals. If you see a super deal, you don't want to pass up on that. They have their seat views. You get the visual, see what that seat is like. You can customize your seat as well. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code ChatSports, $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. All right, some final thoughts here. Let's talk the defense real quick and then what the trajectory looks like for Kansas City from here. Defense, we talked about it this week that you had a real opportunity to set up C.J. Stroud for mistakes, that although he's a good quarterback, one of his struggles is that when he makes a mistake, it leads to another. Those 2 interceptions the Chiefs defense had, they were crucial. C.J. could never get in sync throughout this day. And they had a bad injury to Tank Dell on a touchdown grab that he had. And he was having a heck of a day. I feel bad for him. I hope he's okay. It was just a nasty scene, what he went through there. But with the way the pass rush operated, with the turnovers we saw from Hicks and McDuffie, this looks like a championship caliber defense. I sit here right now. I don't think you're losing games because of this defense. If we're sitting here in January talking about an early exit, I would be very surprised if the discussion is because of a letdown by the defense. Honestly, I trust this defense more than I do the offense right now. And I like the offense, don't get me wrong, and I think that they're going to get better in the coming weeks, but I like this defense a little bit more. I think they can be trusted more. How would you grade the performance for the Chiefs today? A, B, C, D, or F? Weigh in the comments section. Let us know what you think of how the Chiefs did against Houston. All right, so before we wrap up here, kind of some final thoughts. So Chiefs did what they needed to today. Now you head to tomorrow, and if the Bills were to lose or tie to the Patriots, which I don't think is going to happen, well, you never know. Maybe Drake May is going to have a career day or something. If that happens, you clinch home field, and we're talking about all these guys, except maybe Hollywood, because you're still trying to catch him up to speed and all, sitting out for 3 weeks, which would be great. If not, if the Bills do win tomorrow like we expect, then a win next week against Pittsburgh, and you could clinch home field advantage. The assignment for the Chiefs, number one priority is just getting home field right. Now, the quicker, the better, but you need to win 2 out of the next 3 assuming the Bills win out. And you pretty much have to assume the Bills win out because they're playing the Patriots, the Jets, and the Patriots to wrap up the regular season. So, with that said, I think it's huge for this Chiefs team. Go into Pittsburgh, get this win, wrap it up, and then have 2 weeks off before you get to the divisional round. If you lose, not the end of the world, but that takes away the additional bye week potentially setting up where you need to play Week 18 and win against the Denver Broncos. So we'll see how it all plays out. Appreciate you joining us here on this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. A lot of fun today. You guys are the absolute best. Thanks for helping us reach 64,000 subscribers on the channel. We ain't stopping there. For continuing Chiefs coverage, subscribe now for free. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.